Hey guys, welcome to Point of View TV official. My host, Point of View himself, Philosopher X, today has the most tremendous blessing to have one of, the profound, a community member, community activist of an African descent, right? Just being able to connect and to meet him the way I met him the other day, I was just very astonished by that, So before I go anywhere further with my conversation, I want to give you the time, first of all, to just first of all understand that Point of View is finally back. We are finally back, definitely. We're going to try to be as consistent as we promised to be. And the idea is to have mini conversation like we're having today and to just highlight the work of our city, the work of our people, not as a community enterprise, but actually as a business enterprise, because we are putting in our time, and our time have to mean somewhere. But before I go any further with this conversation, I want to take the time to really allow my guest here on my right hand side to really have the time to introduce himself. His name is Coach PK. He's well known, well renowned around the Melbourne City counterparts, especially in the sporting industry, basketball to be specific. I've actually met him through a tournament a few days ago, a tournament that is actually very iconic in the southeast Melbourne as well, it being Oyidi Foundation. And yeah, he was actually one of the ref over there. And I was just so privileged to have another member of my community festival in a business platform, showcasing his business, right? But also being able to network with someone like myself. So, Coach PK, welcome to Point of View.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure being here, Aban. Networking is something that I'm always been interested in. I've always been looking for people to network. And, I found it really hard at some stage to find somebody that, is in the same industry that I am, and plus is in the same community as well. So I network a little bit here and then in the past, but was always with people that they were good, but not quite my community. So to be able to network to somebody like Abania, Point of View, and for my community that they understands me and sees my point of view, and I can see his point of view is a pleasure. So like Aban say, I'm a well-renowned basketball referee in Victoria, Melbourne. And I've been refereeing in Melbourne for about 20 plus years, from VJBL to Big V to CBL to UBL, you name it. So in case you're not sure about what UBL means, it stands for University Basketball League. CBL is Country Basketball League. VJBL is Victoria Junior Basketball League. And Big V is the main and most known, the biggest competition when it comes to numbers of participants in the southern hemisphere of the world. So when you look at the equator line, anything under, this is the biggest competition with more participants on that area. So which is amazing, and I was privileged to referee on this tournament for many years. I sort of retired now, and I'm sort of trying to look at myself and starting to having different interests, which one of them is what we are doing now, podcasting, networking, and sending the right message to the people out there.
100%, and it's such a joy, I have to share a little story about me. So originally, I used to run tournaments like that as well, and refereeing tournaments. So 2019, I've started, 2017, I've started a soccer tournament, right, that used to run in school holidays. And the general idea why I did that actually was to, again, help young people, enriching sport, engage in sport, but also, just have something to do, So, and this organization was under EMC. At the time, I had like 6 South Sudanese young people who were very interested at the time as well. We formulated an organization. We started running those tournaments. Within those tournaments, I've learned about what refereeing really is and the complexity of it. I've learned about partnershiping because I had the privilege to actually partner with Melbourne Victory and so forth. My background being beautiful. Soccer, right? So I understand that, but take me way back, what is basketball? I feel like basketball is more than just a language to you.
Exactly. Look, Basketball pretty much, look, in a way, gave me guidance. Growing up as a young man, and I'm pretty sure a lot of young people out there will, feel the same way. When you're growing up and you're young, you don't really know what you want to be or what you want to become. So, even when young people, when they get to about 16, 17, 18, so they are finishing high school, they don't know what they study, what do you want to study in university and things like that. And that's a reason a lot of young people, follow, get into hang around with the wrong crowd. But basketball is something that came to my life by accident. Growing up, I was also a soccer player. I always played soccer for many, many years. So I had a friend of mine, my neighbor from downstairs. She used to play handball. So handball is not a sport very known around it, but in Europe it's very known. I grew up in Angola, in Africa, and she used to play handball. And she said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to play handball in this place." So I said, "Oh, I'll come and watch you, see what this is all about," because she always told us stories about the handball and what happened there. So I went to watch her play handball, or the training. They were doing a training. And there was a girl on that training. I don't know, man. I just liked it. I said, "Wow, this girl is so pretty." And I was only 14 or something,
Yep.
And I said, "No, man." So I used to pretend to go and watch my neighbor practice handball, so I can see that girl. But what has happened is, after the handball training, straight after the handball training, they used to have a basketball training. There was boys training basketball. So the boys that were training after the girls, they thought I was coming because I wanted to join the team, but I was too shy. So they said, "This guy is always here when we start our training, and then he leaves, but he's too shy." Yeah. So one day they told the coach, "You see this guy, he always comes and watches us, but he's too shy to ask you. You should tell him." So the coach told me, come in. "Do you want to play basketball?" I said, "Yeah, sure. If he's going to give me a reason to come here every day and see the girl before I train, I'm happy with that." And that's how I started playing basketball. So I was a soccer player, and this is where the transformation went from soccer to basketball. And I just keep coming to the training. I'll get there about half an hour earlier, see the girl, and then practice basketball with the guys. And then, from there on, it just grew and grew. And so, yeah, it's a funny story, but it's a real story.
Brilliant. I love that.
It's real story. That's how my basketball journey started.
Yeah.
And then from there on, I became good at it, because I was just practicing all the time. I became almost addicted to practicing.
Yeah.
And I just kept practicing, getting better with my craft, watching, tapes here and there from the time, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnsons and guys like that, and then Shaquille O'Neal later on. And from there on, it just became basketball. So years later, I moved to Germany, and I also didn't know many people, so I didn't know where to play basketball. So as I'm, just in a yard, there was these 3 boys playing basketball,
yeah.
And they needed another person to play 2-on-2, because they're only playing one, then one loses, the other one comes in. So they say, "Do you know how to play basketball?" And I'm like, "Well, if you knew, I've been playing. I've been doing it all my life, He's like, "Do you know?" I say, "Yeah, I can." So I started knocking out shot, and like, "Oh my goodness, this guy is so good. They say, you're a magician, How can you just make all these shots all the time, I said, "They don't know that I've been practicing for a very long time, And then, then I started playing basketball in Germany. I joined a team called Telekom Baskets, and I played there for about 3 years. And then, I was living there with my sister. She decided to move from Germany to Portugal. I started playing in Portugal for the same sponsor. So it was Telecom Bonn and then Telecom Portugal. So I joined the Telecom Portugal, started playing for them as well. It was, 3 years or so. And then eventually the chance came to come to Australia. Came to Australia, loved the country, and decided to stay. So to come to Australia was actually an interesting story, because living in Europe in the 1990s, we didn't know much about Australia. Every time they say, "This is Australia," you come on TV, they'll show either kangaroos jumping,
Yeah.
or they'll show somebody playing footy and jumping on top of each other.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is not soccer. This is not, because we're used to soccer, you know, skills and all like that. So when people are jumping on top of each other to grab their mic, we thought this is too rough. You know?
Yeah.
That's all we knew about Australia.
Yeah.
Like even the Australian actors like Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman, we just assumed they're Americans, because they were in American movies doing American accent.
Correct.
So then when the Sydney Olympic came up 2000, that's when we saw that, hang on, there's cars, there's the Sydney Bridge, and there's people everywhere. So that's why it's always great for a country or a city to host a event, because it brings so much tourism, it brings so much people to see what you have out there that people usually don't look for it. And that was a great time to sort of say, hey, it's a great country, let's go and visit. And then once I came to Australia, I never left.
100%, like, thank you, Coach, man. I think you've highlighted something that I just also remembered right now. Our life, the true joy or the true moment that we truly remembered, they always come from where? Right? They come from our stories.
True.
The stories that we actually hold dear to our hearts, that almost we can only tell to a friend, that we believe they deserve to hear it. And I remember that as well. I remember growing up, the reason why I even coming to Australia, winning cross country, athletics, I didn't know what they were. Like, for you to tell me we're training out for cross country and athletic, I'm like, what? How do we do the sport? Okay, if you're doing athletic and you're doing the track field, you're running. So you're telling me just using my 2 feet, I gotta just go and beat this guy. That's all I gotta do. All right, cool. So I figured out the game. I knew what I had to do, and I knew running was my advantage. But I always needed that motivation, And my story kind of linger alongside yours, because I was motivated by female as well.
Oh, here we go.
Right? It was the girl that I thought was super pretty back in those times that was, into athletics.
Here we go.
Into cross country, And I'm like, how do I get this person attention? So the only way I could get their attention really is to step into their world.
Correct.
The world, which is the sporting world, And when I went there, obviously, because I wanted to impress this person. When you want to impress someone, you will do whatever it takes to get the job done. I guarantee you that. So I started watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out how to start my sprint, how to start my takeoff, and so forth. Before you know it, I was winning cross country. I was making it to state level. But there's one thing that really just stopped me there, The moment I got the girls' attention and I've achieved that goal, athletics and cross country didn't become a thing for me anymore, And my excuse was like, if I'm racing again this year, am I getting a new medal when I win? If I could see the medal, then I try. If I didn't see the medal, I didn't try anymore, because I didn't want to have the same medal in my household.
Yeah, the motivation.
Yeah. So it's really a beautiful thing to say, So thank you so much, Coach PK.
I appreciate it.
He said he was a soccer player, didn't he? And I'm a joker, so I'm saying, doesn't he look like Pele? Does he not look like Pele?
I get it all the time.
Come on, man, Coach Pele, Coach Pele.
See, I get it all the time. And kids come to me, hey, you Pele, man. And I just think, damn, I wish I had this money and this fame. I wouldn't mind. I can be a pretend Pele and just go, play soccer. And soccer was definitely growing up, growing up in Angola. Soccer was the main sport, even though basketball was the sport that Angola was winning the most. Like, we were winning African championships back to back and competing in the Olympics and competing in the World Championship. But soccer, it was still the biggest sport in Africa and also in Angola mostly.
Yeah.
So this was just the way it was. So for me to go from soccer to basketball, it took a lot of effort. Which is the girl.
Which is the girl. My story too. To join anything, you got to be motivated by something, right? Nowadays, you want to be motivated by money, and that's really where I want to get our next conversation going, So I know you do the coaching part on your social as a reward, as a way to communicate with the community and your audience as well. But take me through that journey. Where did that inspiration come from? Because you are actually adding so much insight into people's life.
Correct. That's right.
I remember yesterday when I did promise you I was going to start going into your profile, And I kid you not, I find myself just going to next video, and I just kept watching your videos, and I learned so much as somebody who just shoots hoops at school, right, or around my friends. I've learned so much just being there, you know. So what you're doing has so much tremendousness behind it, so much wealth of education behind it, you know. I think everybody out there loves it, you know. I definitely love it, you know. Point of view,
Thank
love
you.
it, you know.
Thank
But
you so much.
I wanna learn more than just Coach PK or Coach Pele at this point, right? I wanna know more about. Yeah, so you're wearing a brand right now, right?
Correct. So
talk to me.
correct. So the brand came up. It's called Basketball for Dummies, Coach PK. So Basketball for Dummies is pretty much basketball for learners, because that's why I started doing this. So what I noticed is, even though I was refereeing in a very high level in the statewide, the players that were playing at the state level, there were maybe 5% of all the players that play basketball.
Yeah.
And they knew the most about the rules because they had the best referees, like myself and other high-level referees.
Yeah.
But the average player, they just play domestics here and there, or plays on the concrete, schoolyard here and there.
Yeah.
They didn't know much about the rules, about the fundamentals of basketball. And a lot of time what happened is when they will go and play and the referee will call something, they'll argue with the referee, they'll get mad, and the referee tried to explain to them what it was about, and they would sort of not understanding it. And it is really difficult for a referee to explain to a player about a rule when he's already mad.
Yep.
And the heat of the moment, you know.
Exactly right.
So, but it is easier when you chill and relax, because then you hear more. So people hear more of what you have to say, and instead of what you already thinking the referee is wrong or the referee doesn't like you, because he make that call that you never heard before. So that was the idea, and obviously I wanted to attack the younger demographic. So I didn't want to go to the adults because they're already set up on their ways. So that's why I called it Basketball for Dummies, or in other words, Basketball for Learners, for people sort of just new into the sport.
Yep.
I've been told to change the name, but it's too late now. I think I was just going to stay with it, or I was just going to make it a B4D, which is Basketball for Dummies, instead of the old Basketball for Dummies sort of thing. I'm cool with that now. I'm just going to keep the name, I believe. But so that was the motivation. And plus, you in life, I believe personally in life, you learn something, or you play soccer, or you learn social media and learn and everything. But then what do you want to do with it afterwards?
Exactly.
So you want to share it so more people can learn and know about it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the idea. So you learn something. I learned something for 20, 30 years of refereeing and playing and coaching and score tabling and watching games and spectating.
Yep.
So now my idea is to pass what I know and my knowledge to a younger generation, so they can then, do whatever they like with it. But I want people to know, so that's the idea.
Yeah.
Look, I can't go away and leave this world with the knowledge I have, because it's just pretty much wasted. Yeah. But if I pass it on to people to also learn and know more about the game of basketball, the game that I love, it will make my day. So
thank you for that a lot.
My pleasure.
I think in our Australian diaspora community right now, one of the key issues we are struggling with is this diaspora intergenerational wealth. Right now, wealth doesn't always have to accumulate to money, but it's really what you're passionate about.
The knowledge.
The knowledge, what you leave behind.
Correct.
So that's really why I like what you really said right now. Intergenerational wealth or growth or mindset. It's about always knowing who is coming after you. Who would benefit from this knowledge, right? So this is what I really, as a point of viewer, but also as point of view TV official, part of having this conversation today, it's to share the point of view of Coach PK, but also to share the point of view of Basketball for Dummies, And Coach PK, what you're doing is amazing, right? I simply like the name, right? I like the B4D.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's what it is. I think maybe don't think about changing the name. Maybe go with the slogan,
Yeah, just the slogan.
You want to read the dummy? You read the dummy.
That's right.
That is at your cost, right? But hey, you got to be dumb to learn something. Let's change that.
Exactly right.
You need to know. You need to know, be skilled at something in order to achieve even an urge to want to learn. Right? There have to be something about it that you lack of, right, for you to want to reach the next level. So being called dumb or dummy does not really justify us as human beings, right? But it is a skill set, right? It's a skill set for basketball tier. Let's say that would be tier 1. That's level 1, right? A dummy will be day 1 person, right? Not day 3 person. Day 3, you're picking up skill. You're no longer a dummy no more, right?
Right.
So that's really what we're talking about. Sometime when we come up with business branding and so forth, right? So B for D, man, it's all the way to go. So what are we looking at? What are we looking at for next year? Next year, what do we think about? Because I think we can actually sit down together, work together alongside some coaching and refereeing.
Correct. So
me personally, I work in the school environment. I have counter PE teachers who definitely would love to have a conversation with you.
I appreciate it. That's why I'm here for. That's why I'm here for the networking.
Yeah.
So for next year, we are coming close to the end of the 2025.
Correct.
So pretty much planning now for next year what I would like to do, reaching out to schools and reaching out to young people at school is definitely the way to go. And it's not just about promoting the game of basketball and the rules of basketball, but it's also inspiring kids, giving them another opportunity to be themselves, and a place where they are comfortable, to be themselves and play the sport they like, make friends, and socialize, because a lot of young people nowadays, they are a lot into the social media and the gadgets, so they'll be on the phone or laptop or iPad, and they stuck on that for a long time.
Yes.
So they lack a lot of social skills, like the intercommunication. They don't have much
Social
of that.
skills. Yep.
So therefore, basketball is a place where when I teach basketball, I encourage people to talk. I encourage people to ask questions. Never such thing as a dumb question. Every questions are valuable, because I might not know the answer and I'm too scared to ask. But if somebody else asks and I get the answer from there, I benefit as well. So I actually value the one they ask, to make everybody else benefit. Because trust me, if one person doesn't know about a certain thing, it means there's millions out there they also don't know. And that's why we reach into the social media, because in social media we can reach millions of people, thousands and millions of people, not just 5 or 6. That's the plan. So reach out to young people, reach out to schools and education departments, and see if we can encourage more people to be more social, and be more, enjoy life and make friends, because back when I was growing up, we didn't have much of we didn't even have a mobile phone. Now you have kids 10 years old, they already got a mobile phone, an iPad, and a computer at home. But we had to talk to other kids, we have to play with other kids. So that's what I would like to do, say more.
I really love that answer. Now this is so I want to give you a scenario.
Sure.
Right, because sometime when the window opens, people need to learn a bit more about what we're talking about, right? Now I know that your background it's predominantly basketball, right? And schools now are becoming extremely very hard to work at, especially in the sport physical health industry. Why? Because first of all, young people don't want to exercise. They don't want to feel that they've been told what to do. And when it comes to physically getting someone to get up and try to stretch, you are pushing your boundaries. So then they stop reacting to you. They start to react at you. So those are the problems. So the scenario really I want to ask you about, and this is an idea that I am definitely in a position to link you in with my school. Yeah.
Bring it.
At this very moment, so I want to so what kind of social aspect can you provide on a weekly basis for young people who might be troubled in a classroom? So they didn't disengage in a classroom, or they have a behavior problem in a classroom. However, they're very intellectual young people. They just lack that social skill, that PE aspects or physical education aspects, to look dominating for them to even want to engage, So obviously the school, which means there's going to be more than one young person wanting to engage. How can you engage, let's say, 50 people who probably have different sport choices, right? You have a few volleyballers, you have a few basketballers, a few netballers, because those are the sport right now, and then let's say your soccers are there.
Correct.
How can you engage for a group of 50 students?
Correct. So look, with physical education, we use sport as a way of people competing or focusing on what's happening on they're wanting to score the basket, but in the meantime what they're actually doing is just physical education, because they are moving their arms, they are moving their legs, they are moving their whole body.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can do. There are just basics physical education to get everybody engaged. It doesn't have to be a game, doesn't have to be basketball or soccer. It can just be a game or exercises where everybody, a fun exercise in other words, where people can sort of compete, but not really seriously compete to sort of compete. There has to be a motivation. There has to be a reason why they want to run. There has to be a reason why they want to pass the ball. You and I was the girls, But in nowadays, young people, it might be a different reason. But they have to have a reason why they want to win, what they want to, I'll give you an example. Like, basketball, the way it started it was a Canadian teacher in America which used to teach physical education. But what he noticed at the end of every class, the basketball, the stadium, the gym was always dirty, full of papers everywhere on the floor. So what he said is, whoever puts the most paper in the rubbish bin, the basket bin, wins.
Wow.
So he would say 10 players, 10 kids on this side, 10 kids on this side. Now start picking up all the paperwork, and they're all picking it all up. They go running, picking it all up, put it, and then at the end you count. Okay, this basket has got 30, this basket has got 20. So these people won.
No way.
Yes.
Is that how basketball?
That's how basketball started. As simple as that. That's why it's called basketball. If you didn't know, now you know. And remember, you know it from Coach PK.
From Coach PK.
Yeah, right. That's right.
He told you something
Oh
today.
my goodness, that's just as simple as that. And then every end of every session or every training they had, basketball. And then what they used to do is eventually became they'll pick up all the paperwork, and then you say, okay, you be shifted. You say, it's 20 here and 20 here. Now I'm gonna throw one more. Whoever team catches that paper, he print, they win. Whoever team catches, and then you throw a paper, they're all gonna chase it. So they become one basketball. So now what we have now is a basketball. One basketball, two baskets. Who's gonna put more baskets, more balls inside their basket and inside this basket on the left and on the right? And that's how basketball was created. So it's just a way of making people or kids work, engage them with activities, physical activities, in a competitive way, but also in a way that they actually don't know. They don't think they are exercising. They're just trying to get those paper in so they win the competition. But at the end of the day, they did a lot of running, a lot of picking up and arms and everything. So
that is probably the best explanation ever. Right, for a point of view to hear, like that's what I'm talking about. Like I want to learn something.
Correct.
Every time something is new to me, And I felt like when I was watching your videos, you were teaching me something, and now you just told me something that's now I'm gonna start wondering, how did soccer originated?
That's right. Or whatever sport you play. How did tennis originate? How did all this? There's books out there, I'm pretty sure you can go and read it. Or if you want to talk about basketball related, just come to my channel, Basketball for Dummies, and I'm going to summarize the whole book of basketball for you.
Wow.
So make sure to hit me up. We will write a book. That's right. We will write a book about basketball.
That's exactly
with our
right.
twist on.
Now, and that's what it is. This is Point of View Official TV. I am so thankful today to have Coach PK, Coach Pele.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because soccer, Pele, PK
Yeah.
basketball, I'll give him that. But when we're talking soccer, we got to call him Coach Pele. But thank you so much for the advice you're giving us today. There's so much
My
knowledge and
pleasure,
wisdom
my
behind
pleasure.
you.
Anything I can do for young people, and the new generation,
There's a lot of
I'm more
collaboration
into
I
it.
want you to really start. Like this is the beginning of amazing thing, right? First of all,
Indeed.
in terms of collaboration, off the camera, we'll sit down, we'll talk about it. But a few people just, actually, before we talk about a few people look for or look at into working for in terms of networking, I want to hear your true and your honest feedback about the Oyidi Foundation that just took place on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right, yesterday being the day. Obviously, I only had the chance to come through yesterday due to my injury. Currently, I have my metatarsal, my fifth metatarsal is fractured, so I really can't do a lot of walking in this very moment. I got to be very wary of it. But coming in yesterday on Sunday and seeing the energy, the explosive energy of a diaspora people, right, it's still shocking me, and there's a big story behind the foundation. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but the foundation itself, it's a standalone, a beautiful initiative, right? From a
Indeed,
community
indeed.
perspective, from a young people perspective, but also from a sport mental health engagement perspective, man. It's a wonderful thing. So Coach PK, and I don't know how long you've been coaching and refereeing these games. This is the first time obviously I met you there, but I really want to hear your true insight about what you've seen, right? What you've seen in terms of potential, what you've seen in terms of community, what you've seen in terms of just the love of sport.
Correct. So look, they say to raise a child, you need a village. It takes a effect of a whole village to
Yes.
raise a child.
Yes.
You can. It's hard to enough as it is just with mom, and many times here we have single moms, and then you have one child, one mom, or 2 or 3 children, and one mom is very, very difficult to raise
Correct.
a child. So you need a whole community, a whole neighborhood, a whole suburb, to raise a child or children. And a lot of times children, they don't say much, but they have just as much feeling as adults.
Yes.
They, in the inside, in their hearts, they have, they are depressed, they are sad, they are happy, they do all this, they have all this feeling. And a lot of the times, it is hard for an adult to express themselves and tell their feelings to the world or to a psychologist or something like that. Imagine a child, even double more difficult to do that. So we don't really know what a lot of people, children or adults, are going through on a daily lives. They might not even be the truth, but it's their reality.
Correct.
So sometimes, it's not about what is really happening, it's your reality. If your reality is telling you that this is the way it is, and it's really hard to change your mentality and your thinking. I won't go into too much details of the young man. I think his name is Ayuki Amun. It's the tournament where I met you.
Oyidi Amun, yep.
Ayuki Amun.
Yep.
So the tournament, I know he's passed. I don't know the details of how he passed, but he was a young man. He was, a basketball player, and therefore, when he passed, Hoops 24/7 decided to run a yearly tournament in memory of this young man. And this tournament has been happening and growing year after year. Thank God, hopefully it's going to be going for the next, 50, 80, 20, 100 years to come. And look, like everything, every year it gets better.
Yes.
Every year we learn something when they run this competition to learn, okay, this went not too good.
Yep.
We changed a little bit.
Yes.
So a message that I have as well, while I'm saying that for a lot of people that are watching this and a lot of young men, is that sometimes when you do something, it doesn't have to be perfect straight away. The idea is not to be perfect. The idea is to keep improving. And that's what, Aban was saying just before. Basketball for dummies, if you think you are learning all the time, then you don't know enough and you have to learn. eventually you keep learning, and the person that thinks he knows everything doesn't learn anymore. You're gonna surpass that person.
Correct.
Because you keep learning. It's actually a great attitude to have, thinking I am dummy or I don't know much,
Yep.
and I'm happy to learn, because I know something, then Aban might not know, and Aban knows something that I might not know.
Yeah.
But if a third person, John, for example, comes in and asks me what I know, and he learns from me, and then he asks him what he knows, he learns from me. Now John knows what I know and knows what he knows.
He's advanced.
He's an advantage, better than me now, because he knows
Yep.
more than me, and he knows more than him as well.
Correct.
You know, so I encourage everybody out there, have the attitude of continuous improving.
Yeah.
You are never going to be perfect,
Never.
but you can always improve. Every time you hit a goal, I want you to celebrate, but keep thinking in your mind, keep getting better, keep going to the next level. Yeah. Even if you're on the top level, you are the champion, work even harder to defend your championship, you know, because sometimes
100%.
they say it's harder to defend your championship than get there.
100%.
You know, so yeah. So this is the thing, you know, we're getting better. This tournament is getting better. Obviously, the memory of this young man will never be forgotten from now on.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it was a beautiful thing to see. There was people from different backgrounds, different, you know, ethnicity, so African background, Asian background, you know, white and Australian background. And we all play basketball, the game we all love, and we all got along. You know, at the end of the day, there was high fives. You know, you high five your teammate, you high five the opposition. 100%. You know, I even saw people missing shot and the opposition giving a high five, encouraging each other.
Community,
you know, community togetherness.
Yeah.
You know, basketball is not the most important. At the end of the day, we are people.
Yeah.
So we are people before basketball. Okay.
And I like what you're saying, but okay, like I don't like politics, but I wanted to come from a referee, right? From a referee of the sport himself. You know, the African community or the South Sudanese youth has been getting a lot of backlash on the media lately, right? And we're not here to talk about the politics about it. All I want you to just kind of really highlight right now, from a perspective of a referee, right? What is one beautiful aspect, right, that you could say you see that is a positive that young South Sudanese youth are doing when you see a day as competitive as this weekend, you know, as the first, second, and third. First, second, yep.
Correct. So, well, the positive thing, you know, they are doing is, well, first of all, they're very athletic. I mean, which is a great thing to see. I mean, you know, they're just very athletic, and you know, they love the basketball. They jump high, they run fast, you know, and that's a good thing, you know. And what they do, they are pushing the boundaries for other people, other kids to also try to catch up to them. You know, so it's pretty much leading a pack.
Yep.
You know, a pack of people to see what is, you know, what the goal, the end goal is. There is no end goal, as I say. You need to keep improving. You need to keep getting better. You know, the black. I don't also talk about politics, you know, and things like that. But obviously, there is. If in a minority, is always has been the case. In a minority, if one bad thing happen, is amplified.
Yeah.
You know, and
100%.
10 good things happen. That's okay. That's what it should be like. That's normal.
The norm, yep.
You know, but as the way I see it, for young people, especially young people, even if you think what they're doing is just normal,
yeah,
but the fact that they are not doing the wrong thing, they should be motivated. They should be rewarded. Exactly right. You know, we need more South Sudanese basketball players in Australia.
And the word is not reward, the word is incentive.
Incentive, exactly right.
You know, when you reward someone, they feel like a child. You know,
that's right, that's right.
But yeah, incentive. Let's incentivize, you know, their name on social media. Let's also try to highlight a bit of this media. You know, this is the reason why I had to ask you that question. And I'm gonna kind of just bring the attention back here and just, you know, to just really add to what we're talking about. So, the Foundation, it's based off a South Sudanese young person who's really has taken their life away, right? taking their life away for many reasons. But one thing that I can definitely say is, as a South Sudanese young person myself, right, we have gone through multitude of hardship. Some of us didn't even ask to be in those positions, but we have to learn and adapt so quickly that sometimes we don't pay attention to our own mental health, right? And year in, year out, when it start to depict as a problem and you don't pay attention to it, believe it or not, it carries on, right? So that's what the foundation is about. The Uyidi Foundation is a foundation that's actually here to advocate for all young South Sudanese, all young African, all young diasporas who just love sport, to understand that sport is a vehicle where you can be seen,
you can
as
be
a
yourself as well.
You can see yourself accelerate to a multitude that nobody can actually understand. So I thank the Uyidi Foundation. He's actually a family member to me. Right? This is why our presence there is important.
Sure.
To be there. And thank you for being there, Coach. I think just you today being here on Point of View and be able to speak, right, your thought is gonna go a long way.
I agree.
I think for people to see this collaboration,
correct.
It's an important thing.
It is very important.
It's an important thing to see that we can actually network and we can get message. Not the message ad. We're not always here for a message. We should always be here for education. We should always be here for engagement. You can learn in your own time because we're very selective individuals, humans. So that is the real message I want to leave here. But the real message I want to leave here is I have to say, he's a mentor, to me, and mentorship can come in a lot of format, right? But I look at him as such a mentor. But one thing that really highlight me about Coach PK, honestly, was when I arrived at the venue, I was just trying to switch in, get my gears on, and try to record and so forth. And he tapped me on the shoulder, what are you doing? What's going on? And really, that's how it started. That's how it started. We started having a chat. And when I finish off my duty of the day, I'm like, I need to reach out to Coach PK. I need to learn a bit more. I need to network with Coach PK, So that's what Point of View is about. We're here not to share our stories only, but to highlight other people's stories and to highlight their success stories, I can see Coach PK reaching a lot of milestones, but you know what? One thing that I'm so proud about Coach PK is that he always adds value to you, to me, to our community, to our people. And the community doesn't always start and stop with color, Today we are brothers, not because of color. We are brothers because we understand our objective as individual, our value aligns, our expectation aligns, and we have a direct passive way that we aim to achieve, So yes, if you see Coach PK on social media,
show me love. Show
him love. If you see Coach PK on TikTok, show him love. If you see him on Instagram, show him love. If you see him on Facebook, show him love.
Indeed.
It's all Coach PK. It's knowledge about basketball. Before you get ankle broken, understand how the ankle breaking starts. And I think you be good. Coach PK, you are the foundation.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Abana.
Love.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Power of respect is always that.
Love it. Thank you so much.
No worries. We'll cut it here.
We'll catch up. We'll do it again.
We'll do it again. We'll figure out when
networking.
We'll figure out when is the best time for both of us.
Correct.
And if this content, honestly, Coach PK, I will tell you right now, this is it. Once we release this document online and people like it, I will do this every Sunday.
I'm happy to come in every Sunday.
And you don't even have to come. I can also come there because everything is portable,
correct.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is why we're going portable.
That's it. That's why we're going small.
Yeah, so then I just get there and we get the job done,
Here we go.
Thank you so much, Coach PK.
I appreciate it.
This is Point of View Official TV or TV Official. You name it now, man. We don't even have to tell you what's what. All you got to understand is POV. Right, you gotta understand Coach PK, Coach
B4D.
B4D.
And make sure
B4D,
make sure to hit me on my social, basketball number 4 for dummies, or Coach PK, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, are all over it. So make sure you hit me up there.
Can you say that again?
Basketball for dummies or Coach PK, basketball number 4 dummies. Hit me up. I will be there to help you out.
That's on TikTok. That's on Instagram. That's
and
on
YouTube.
Facebook, YouTube. Well, I don't know. We're just gonna go YouTube. Facebook. Facebook's too social, man. Even I don't like Facebook. So let's just cut Facebook off for a second. But yes, do follow him. I am gonna be collaborating with him a lot, right? In fact, you're gonna be seeing a lot of promo videos really right after this, because that's what it's about. We need to promote, we need to understand, and we need to collaborate. Thank you so much, Coach PK.
Thank you.
Point of View TV official.